Because weren't you going to get on Toy Machine in the very beginning? Weren't you?
I was, yes.
Because you've been buddies with Leo for a while, right? Yeah. And were you going to get on Toy Machine because of Leo? No.
I met Leo after.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I met Leo after Toy Machine, I was still on, but it was like already fading. But yeah, I was on Toy Machine from like 14 to like 17 or something like that.
Like Flow?
Flow, yeah.
Gotcha.
I was Flow.
Flow.
You know how that goes.
Of course.
And then during that time, basically, when I was filming, or I was just like kind of skating as a kid, I didn't really even know what I was doing.
Right.
And then when I was like 16 or 17 is when like I met Jared like a long time ago, Jared Lucas from Bones.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And when I was like 17, Jared, I guess he kind of noticed that I was like starting to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, he was like, hey, you should come skate with me. And then he lived in San Diego at the time, so I would go and stay with Jared. And then he was just like, he kind of like pushed me to the next level. Was like, this is stuff that you can do, and I know you can do it. And like he kind of gave me that drive to like skate gnarlier stuff. And I was like, oh, and he introduced me to like Rhino and all these photographers.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, like, and that was like around the time that I like dropped out of high school, and I was like, I want to like be a skateboarder. Like, this is what I want to do.
This is at 14?
No, this was when I was 17.
Okay. Oh, okay.
17.
I was
so
gonna say,
fast
14 dropping
No.
out.
When I was
amazing.
This is when I was 17. I was
Gotcha.
filming. And then that's when I kind of started meeting all these photographers and like started getting the magazines and stuff. And then I broke my ankle. And during that time was when Brainwash was coming out. And I was like, maybe supposed to be in Brainwash, but maybe not. And
you were filming for it.
I was
much.
I was like filming. It wasn't like I really knew what was going on. I was just like, I kind of just figured out like, oh, I can skate like these rails, and like I was just like so stoked, just like let's do.
But
this.
if you have the footage,
yeah,
they might.
But I didn't even really know how any of it even really worked at that time.
Okay.
You know? I was kind of just like this, like Jared Lucas is down to film with me, and he's like really like took me under his wing and was like just taking me to spots and doing all this stuff. Let me stay on this couch and shit. So yeah, he like helped me kind of figure out that I could, I guess, fly. I don't know. Like, you're a kid, you don't know what you can do, and then you're like, oh, like this is what I can do, you know?
Plus you're with people who are kind of doing the same thing, so you can see it.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. And then during that time, so then I broke my ankle when I was 17, trying to grind this rail, fucking died. And then during that time, like I got hit up by this other company, and they like sent me a contract, and I was like, whoa, like
for
paid,
boards?
For boards. And I was like, whoa, get paid for skating. Like,
Element?
No, it was someone else. Could not be named.
I'm trying to think of what board companies send out contracts.
Yeah.
But
Like right away.
Yeah.
It was definitely crazy.
We're going to lock you in now.
Huh.
It was definitely crazy, but I was like, whoa, like to get paid from skating, and like I'm like laying
You're
at
not
my
even
parents.
pro yet, though.
No, yeah, I was just like some kid, you know, and like hit up Sinclair, and he was like, oh, like I don't know, like blah blah. And then he hit me up like 2 weeks later and was like don't sign that contract, like I want to put you on F and put you on decline. And I was like, oh shit, like, and I was like, he's like, I want to do like these things with F, and like you'll have like a lot of control with stuff, and like trying to figure stuff out, you know, like I'm doing this thing, and like these new dudes were getting on, like Ryan Spencer and T-Spliff and shit.
Did you want to get on Toy Machine though?
I wanted to get on Toy Machine, yeah.
But it's under the same roof.
It was under the same roof, and it was a thing where I was just like, well, Foundation could be sick. Like, I always thought Foundation videos were fucking rad, so I was just like, yeah, I'll just do that then.
It's amazing.
Because it was basically like a kid being, what would be the word, like, impatient. Like, I was just an impatient kid. Like, I was just like paid for skating. I dropped out of high school. I want to fucking be a pro skater. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
But it's like, you know, I tell these kids nowadays, the patience pays off.
Yeah,
I mean, look at you in America,
for sure.
right? It's like you
learn that in time, though. For sure.
You stick with what you want.
Yeah.
And it can eventually happen.
Yeah.
You start bouncing around, people are just, oh, what is this guy about?
Being loyal
for sure.
Being loyal.
Yeah,
That's actually pretty impressive. You didn't sign that contract.
I don't know.
A lot of kids would have jumped at that right away.
Yeah.
I want to know who this was. Twigs?
No, that would actually be sick. Termite or something like that.
Yeah.
But then, so then when I was hurt or whatever, he was like, yeah, when you come back, like I'm going to start sending you F boards, and like this is what we're doing. We're coming out with a video.
Sick.
WTF, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, for sure. And then like got back, started skating. I was out for like 9 months or something. Like I tore like 3 ligaments in my ankle and shit. It was
damn.
It was
bad.
pretty crazy. Yeah, it sucked. But then I was like, okay, like, so then I started doing that. I started doing F stuff.
Didn't you jump in the van with Sinclair like right away to go on tour or something?
I jumped in the van with him like was it right after WTF? Right after WTF.
Okay.
because I'd already, so basically my WTF part is all that toy machine stuff. Like my
Gotcha.
part was basically filmed in 3 months or whatever. And then there's like a little bit of stuff sprinkled from when I got back.
Oh,
It
wow.
was like, yeah, so I got back and like was able to skate or was able to film for like, I want to say like 6 months or something.
Okay.
But I was kind of just like getting the bearings back. You know what I mean? It's like one of
After
those things.
an ankle break, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have that fear and it was
Oh,
hard to like
God.
break through that fear.
Yeah.
But then it started like happening where I was like, oh, okay, like this is starting to work out and like I'm getting on decline, I'm getting on foundation, like this is really cool. Like
Yeah.
skateboarding started becoming like a more of a thing and like started getting in magazines more and more and I was like, oh, this is fucking crazy. But then, yeah, so then that's how I ended up on F.
Did your parents trip out that you like just dropped out of high school?
For sure. But it was like a thing.
For sure. No, they were totally cool with it.
The thing that happened with
They
high
told me
school.
to drop out.
The thing that happened with high school was like I always hated school. I kind of hated like not like the fact of like someone who goes to school to like be a doctor or something like that. I didn't like someone like a teacher telling me like these are your options. These are the dreams you can have. And I was
Sure.
like, I have like my
These are
own
the
dreams,
jobs you
and
can
these are
get.
not what this is not what I want to do.
Right.
Like, and I didn't like people telling me like you can't do that. You have to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like I know what I want to do, which cannot work out for sure, but that's how you have to like live life. You know, you have to dive into stuff and see what happens. You know, like maybe you'll fly through the end, maybe you'll fucking hit the ground. Like,
Exactly.
but you don't know until you try. And like,
Yep.
that's what I hated about school was like people telling me like, this is what you can do.
Right.
And I was like, but there's this, like, I'm looking at magazines and I'm seeing these like skateboarders that are like superheroes, you know, like
Seriously.
that's like the closest thing to me to a superhero is like a dude like Andrew Reynolds that frontside flips a 16 or something. You're like, that's a superhero. And looking at the magazine, like they looked like action figures to me. Like, look how cool these guys
Right,
look.
right.
Oh, for sure.
Living in Arizona, I was like, I've never seen a pro skater. Like, look at these fucking dudes. Like, they're fucking superheroes. And I was like,
Seriously.
I want to be a superhero. Like these teachers are telling me like, you can be a teacher or a doctor, and I was like, I want to be like these guys. Like, I don't even care.
Right.
So
And that's what at 17 years old, you started
so
getting
at
hooked up.
17, like I was like getting hooked up or whatever. But then
So you dropped out senior year?
no, I was in
11th.
ninth grade.
Ninth?
I was in ninth grade, and like I went through half of ninth grade, and then I stopped going to school, and then I got in independent studies.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I was in independent studies until like the end of 10th grade. But I was like, I basically went up to my parents, and I was like, they gave me the answers to everything. Like, I'm not learning anything. This is all just like a waste of my time. And
I'm just handing in packets.
yeah, I'm just handing these packets. Like, I'm not learning anything, and I just want to be out there in the street skating. And my mom was like, I want you to do what you want to do. And
Yeah.
my dad was like, you can't do this. Like, this is insane. And I was just like, I basically sat down with my dad, and I was like, hey, like, how do you like going to work in the morning? How do you like coming home at this time? How do you, and then he was just like, fuck.
I love that. Little kid sitting down with
The
the
little kid
sitting
sitting
with-
down with my parents, like just being like, I want to do this and I want to like try and do this. And he was like, all right, well, you have my support, but like you have to figure out your way to make money. And like, and I was like, okay, like for sure.
Well, plus you were already in LA, right?
I was in Temecula at the time, and that's where like my parents live.
Because you grew up in Phoenix.
Phoenix, and then my parents moved me to Temecula, but then I went like back and forth from there. And then like when I was like 17, 16, like I started staying with Jared a lot, but I wasn't like moved out. I just like had
How
a
did you
backpack.
even meet these guys? If you're up in Temecula,
Meet who?
like Jared and all
I
the-
met Jared through Aaron, like when I was like a little kid.
Aaron
like,
who?
Jared from Arizona
Jaws.
too.
Oh, Jaws.
Yeah, but I met Jared when I was like really young. Like I probably met him when I was like 12. I still lived in Phoenix when I met him.
So you grew up with Jaws.
I grew up with Jaws, yeah. The gnarliest skater of all time.
He's pretty gnarly. Yeah. So you grew up with Jaws, and then did he move out here too, or does he
Nah.
still lives
He's
out
still
there?
on Sweetwater.
He's
He's still there,
He's
holding
still
it down. He bought a house across the street from his parents' house. So when I go back to AZ, it's basically like I'm a little kid again.
That's amazing.
Was he playing the mouth harp back then too?
No, he started playing the mouth harp recently, but he got good pretty quick.
Yeah, he's pretty good.